Hello, Mario's live on number one. Hello. Welcome. Well, I've decided to go live today on Sunday because, well, I'm so happy that I've got my OBS software streaming away. And, I just want to go live. So I thought, well, why not live on a Sunday? And just have another, it's like a new toy. It's a novelty. I just don't know when to stop. So I sort of thought I'd get some stuff prepared here in the background. I'm actually thinking I might leave that for another day as to how to get some music running in the background as well, just something gently playing along. That might be a bit of fun. So yeah, I just thought I'd just go live on a Sunday while I'm sitting here trying to procrastinate because I've got something else to do. So, and hopefully I'll get into that this afternoon. So currently it's 11:40 a.m. So 20 minutes to 12 on a Sunday morning here in Ngaruawahia, New Zealand. But today I thought that as part of my vlog, because they're sort of recording in my live stream, that my theme for today is Taake Bay, which is a little town where I grew up. And so I've got a few little bits and pieces here prepared so that we can talk about those. And if anyone decides to come in the chat, by all means interrupt me and I'll respond to the chat. But well, if nobody comes in, it's just a nice little live stream that I've put up there, and yeah, we can see what happens. Unpredictable, that's what I'm trying to be. Now the background that I've got here is the boat sheds. It's sort of quite iconic boat sheds at the end of the Taake Bay beach. I don't know whether it records the my mouse movement here. I perhaps need to have a look at that and see how it goes, but possibly not. So yes, here we are, and these boat sheds here are quite iconic. Been here for many years. The people just built them on the beach. You can drive onto the beach and drive right up to these boat sheds, as many people do. And as you can see, the sea can come up right up to the door of the boat shed at times, in high tides and high winds and big storms and things like that. So there was one just in recent times, and took a few of the doors off the boat sheds, and you can see one of them there, third from this one just over here has got corrugated iron across the doorway, which suggests that some sort of trauma or something has been visited onto that particular boat shed, and yeah, that's become on hard times. So let's maybe move on from the clean title. We can come back to that, and just to have a look at a map of Wellington, which it's the bottom of the North Island of New Zealand. So this is the Cook Strait, which separates the North Island from the South Island, and Wellington Harbour is in here, which I had a little bit of a look at the other day. I haven't got my my pointer is not really working there. My mouse, you can't see it, but there's the entrance to the Wellington Harbour there, and then I'll keep going with the mouse. It doesn't seem to be heading out there at all. But the entrance to the Wellington Harbour, and then you come into Wellington itself. So you enter the harbour from the south, and maps from south to north, and then come around, and that's where that big black dot is. That's Wellington. That's sort of where the Oriental Bay that I was looking at there. There's a bit of an isthmus, I think it is called there, where the harbour is. And then you can see further along the coast to the north is Porirua and Taake Bay. So more specifically, we can have a look at another bit of a map here, and we can just get in a little bit more detail. And this is the map of Porirua. So as you're coming out of Wellington on what is now the motorway, but it will at some point be diverted through what they're calling Transmission Gully, which is a new route to the east of Waitangirua, Ascot Park and Whitby, and round through there, and coming from further north at up State Highway 1 there at Paikokariki. So these are the this is the area. I'm just stabilizing my chat there. So as you can see, the Porirua Harbour, it comes in just the entrance there to the north of Mount Cooper, and comes in there, and there's the Porirua arm of the harbour, and the to the south, and the other arm of the harbour is to the north, the Poatanui Inlet there, and there's Mount Cooper. And at Taake Bay, you can see the little beach in there where it comes in for Taake Bay. So it's quite a sheltered and protected little beach there, just to the west of the T of Taake Bay. Now, my parents' house was more on the Porirua Harbour side. So we looked out over the harbour, and you can see a bit of a long green patch there. And we were possibly just south of that as we were looking over the harbour. And then as you go north, you can see State Highway 1 going north. So from our house, we could view that stretch of harbour of State Highway 1 and the North Island Main Trunk Rail Line, NIMT, North Island Main Trunk Railway running there as well. So from our kitchen window, we could see over the harbour, see all the cars heading into Wellington and north of Wellington. Sometimes at night, you'd see on a busy holiday, you'd see them bumper to bumper, the lights coming in and out or going whichever direction they were coming. And we would see the trains go through as well. So, and quite often on a really still, peaceful evening, it would all be reflected in the harbour. So some beautiful, grand views from that area. So all pretty wonderful sort of stuff, really. And now I'm going to go to Taake Bay, and this is a view of Oni Poteau here. Now, my parents' house was sort of round about just to the left of the middle of the photograph there, looking out over the harbour, about two rows up. So 2 rows of houses up. So we looked into where this photo was taken, and just right down in the foreground is there was the yacht. There was some boat sheds there that had ramps down into the harbour itself. So the harbour here isn't, the tide is in, which is the best time to take photos. It is quite tidal and can go out. So just in the foreground there, you can see the causeway out to the bay going from left to right. And then in that little area there was the rugby club, was in there with the football grounds unseen in behind the hill. The full and the hill in the immediate foreground are just oops, which one is it? Not that one. Must be this one. Just up in here, going that way. That hill in there is called Oni Poteau, and here's the yacht club and the speedboat club down in here, and they're little areas that I used to go do a bit of fishing and what have you off them in there. So from my house, we could walk down there, and had a few fishing spots all the way around there to about my left ear. And then occasionally from my left ear, we could walk round the harbour, round this way here. And there was all sorts of fishing spots around there. We could walk all the way round there and round to the Taake Bay beach, which is over behind my head. The hills that you can see in the background there, with the shadowy dark hills up and about there, that's the South Island. On a clear day, you can see through to the South Island. In that sort of shadow, you sort of see the hills. You can't see too much detail. But that is the South Island of New Zealand, which we can see across from there. So it's a very picturesque place with lots of opportunities to take photos and what have you. It's some of the scenes, and if you want to see there's a movie called Eagle versus Shark, which was directed by Taika Waititi, and includes the guys from Flight of the Conchords, or one of them anyway. I don't know whether it's both of them. Eagle versus Shark, and that was set in Taake Bay. So that'll give you a bit of an idea of some of the things on there. Perhaps shows it up in a somewhat different light to reality, but yes, some nice scenery there of the area. So that brings me here to a beach scene, and this is Taake Bay Beach. So this would probably be, looks like the surf club out there, training up some young guys on surf skis and seeing things like this. And this is looking from south to north. So the boat sheds that I showed you in my entrance scene are just these ones here, just immediately there, boat sheds there, through there, and you can drive up to those. There's further, as you can see, further boat sheds around to my left through here, and there I'm more on a concrete little ramp way there onto a rock. They're on rocks, so there's rocks there, and that you can drive up and above that area there, those cliffs that you can see, and yes, go look down over the beach. Some beautiful views over the beach from there. You're also able to walk around through those rocks and come through to the other side as well. Yeah, it's a little bit of climbing and clambering and stuff like that, but certainly, yeah, we used to do a bit of that. And there's some good little rock pools and things that you can swim in amongst those rocks, which we used to do from time to time. Immediately in front of those, oops, I'm getting used to this, these boat sheds here, there's a little bit of a reef in there that comes in through there, and you quite, a few people go snorkeling and scuba diving in there and have a little bit of the look at the reef. I've done a little bit of fishing off that spot as well. It's never, mostly nothing too major in there, mostly pretty little crappy little fish, really, spotties and things like that, which are not particularly good eating, but well, we never used to eat them anyway. So yeah, that's a little bit there. So alrighty, so now let's go to the just go to the beach scene. I've done the beach scene. Oh yes, now Manor Island. So I'll just turn that on there. And so this again is from Taake Bay Beach. Looking out from the beach, you can see the Manor Island there, which is a large flat top island out there. Yeah, it's got a significant feature, obviously, and it sort of in some ways protects the beach a little bit from some of the, straight on winds into the beach. They do have various, the surf club and that have had various races, surf boat races around the island, swims around the island, and that sort of thing. So it features very, very prominently in the area. The area is known as the Kapimana area, Kapimana. And I went to a Mana College named, Mana College named, I guess, in recognition of the island and that there. So you can see this is just from the beach, looking out to the island along Flat Island. And I think if you look very carefully, just especially on the left-hand side of the island, you'll see that, yeah, well, it's the left-hand side for me. How it's quite coming out. There on the left-hand side, you can see the distant shadows of the South Island. And there was, from time to time, depending on your position and where you are, there's a lighthouse down there, the Brothers Lighthouse, I think, that sometimes you could see the light from that shining through at different times. So that's Manor Island, and then the Porirua Harbour. This is the view of the Porirua Harbour looking from south to north. So as you're coming in, that's State Highway 1 and heading into Wellington through the Porirua Harbour, with on the, well, the left-hand side, the left, well, it's my right, but this area in here, is Whitby, possibly Whitby, and oh, forget the name of the top of the Cannons Creek area there, but yes, as you're coming in, and you can see Oni Poteau there, just above my head. In here, that would be Oni Poteau, and Taake Bay would be over here. So that would be going from Taake Bay into Porirua, which would be just in here, and that would be immediately what you can see at the head of the harbour there. Well, the Kiniperu Creek, I think, runs into it, and that would be the Whitiraya sort of Technical Institute, and then a couple of blocks in behind that would be the CBD, Porirua, I guess, a CBD or shopping centre or whatever, Porirua City. So that's in behind there. So this is the harbour there is quite shallow at times. There's quite often there's mud flats and things that are visible. You can sort of almost at times it looks like you can certainly walk there's a couple of channels that run through the middle of the harbour, and then the rest of it can be quite shallow, and especially at low tide. So it wouldn't be a reasonably strong swimmer, I suppose, without too much effort, could walk from one side of the harbour, where there'd be a bit of a swim across the channel there, which can, obviously with all that water coming out of there, would be quite I've never done it myself, but quite swift flowing and dangerous. But I'm sure it's possible with a considered approach. So that's there. I've been going 19 minutes for my little live stream here on Taake Bay. So haven't had anyone come into the chat yet. So yeah, I think maybe it's probably enough. People have probably noticed that I'm about, and I've done 20 minutes, so that's a nice little vlog about Taake Bay and Porirua. A bit of an introduction, well, to those areas. Of certainly, if you're wanted to know anything a little bit more detailed or things like that, you could just leave a comment in the comments below. Otherwise, yeah, you could like and subscribe or do all those sorts of things. So I'm going to just let me see now. I'm just going to head back to my main background. Obviously, no takers for the chat there at the time, but hey, I enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun and putting it together, and I'm learning all sorts of bits and pieces. So there's my little background there, and I'll just go back to my my title. I'm just trying to work on getting all of the video in and leaving little trailers at the end. So perhaps if I just go back to the title, and I will end the stream from there. All good. Cheers. See you.